Hey, happy Friday. So I can hardly wait to come back. I did not want to forget when Jesus says, use my name. So in the Last Supper, those last moments, the final moments that Jesus had with his disciples, he says in John 14, 12, I assure you, most solemnly I tell you, if anyone steadfastly believes in me, he will himself be able to do the things that I do, and he will do even greater than these because I go to the Father. Listen to what Jesus says. And I will do. I myself will grant whatever you ask in my name, as presenting all that I am, so that the Father may be glorified and extolled through the Son. Yes, I will grant. I myself will do for you whatever you shall ask in my name, as presenting all that I am. Whatever you ask in my name, that name that is above every other name, that name of the one who, as I tell my children, I have 3 boys, Joseph and David, when we talk about Jesus defeating the devil, it usually comes out something like, well, Jesus kicked the devil's butt. And let me tell you, that's exactly what happened. And Jesus kicked the devil's butt, and he said, use my name. Use my name. Use my name. The power, the authority that is in the name of Jesus. And so Jesus tells his disciples, back to that verse, he says, but this kind does not come out but by prayer and fasting, that we do separate ourselves, pull ourselves away so that we are ready when the moment of ministry comes. That we are ready when that moment of ministry comes. And Jesus, I had pulled these things out. Jesus pulled himself away to pray constantly. Oh my, he pulled himself away to pray a lot, for hours actually. So let's just go, when we're talking about the Last Supper, after the Last Supper, they went to the garden. Let's go to Matthew 26. 26. Whew, it's a long chapter. 44. 26, 44. Well, you can see all of this. Let's just, okay, 26, 38. I'm sorry, it's all really good. Then he said to them, my soul is very sad and deeply grieved, so that I am almost dying of sorrow. Stay here and keep awake and watch with me. And going a little farther, Jesus, he threw himself upon the ground on his face, and he prayed, saying, Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass away from me. Nevertheless, not what I desire, but what you will and desire. And he came to his disciples and found them sleeping, and said to Peter, what? Are you utterly so unable to stay awake and keep watch for me for an hour? All of you must keep awake, give strict attention, be cautious and active. Watch and pray, that you may not come into temptation. For the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And a second time he went away and prayed, and said the same thing. My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done. And he came again, and he found them sleeping, for their eyes were weighed down with sleep. And so, leaving them again, he went up and prayed for the 3rd time. So Jesus brought his disciples to the garden. He said, watch and pray with me. He went a little farther, came back. They were asleep. Woke them up, same thing again. He went the 2nd time and prayed. Came back. They were asleep again. Jesus went the 3rd time and prayed. Found them asleep again. Luke 5, verse 16. It says, but he himself withdrew to the wilderness, to the desert, and prayed. He withdrew and he prayed. And John 17 talks about that. That is one of the prayers that Jesus prayed in the garden. It was not unusual for Jesus to go out and to pray, separating himself, building himself up in fellowship with the Father so that he would be ready when the moments for ministry came up. I'll see you later. Bye, y'all.